Breaking news, according to my source, Ed Boon goes off on WB CEO by doing what he does best, trolling. Now, I'm going to give you exactly what happened. So basically, what happened here is the fact that Ed Boon was picking his next title that he was going to be working on officially after Mortal Kombat 12. Now, Ed Boon has been working extremely hard before this merger so that way he can obtain the gaming rights to Marvel, so that way they can do a Marvel versus DC game. Now, a lot of you are probably thinking, doesn't WB Discovery have that say so? Yes and no. Yes and no. This is why they have contracts in place, people. In Ed Boon's contract for NRS, when it was purchased, it says that they have the power to work on games that are not related to WB Discovery. Now, do WB Discovery have, like I said, say so and restrictions? Yes, they do. But the contract is so old to the point that Ed's lawyers were able to find a plot hole within it so they be able to use it to do what needs to be done. Now, if you look at it this way, they cannot stop NetherRealm Studios from making games for other companies. You cannot do that's sabotaging your own company. There's laws against that. You got to be honest, you got to be truthful, you got to be profitable, you got to make money. The only way the CEO can get back at Ed Boon is by shutting down NetherRealm Studios completely, is what they can do. That's option number one. Option number two, what they can do is have another person produce the games that NetherRealm Studios is producing. Now, a lot of you probably wondering, like, what the heck is going on? We need you to be more clear as to what's going on. Okay, so I'll start here. So, David Zaslav, the CEO of WB Discovery, said that Injustice 3 was not making any money and that he was going to do something quote unquote special with that. I'm being very sarcastic. So you're going to have to watch the Injustice video to get the other half of that story, because I want to stay on track here as to what's going on with this this whole debacle we got going on here. So Ed Boon was furious about how that situation went down as far as David doing what he did. I'm gonna just go ahead and tell you because you won't be able to understand unless I tell you, but still, please go watch the Injustice video when I release it. Please do that. So basically, David is deciding to get another company to make Injustice, and Ed Boon feels that he's been highly disrespected, him and other NRS projects. He feel like they're being disrespected by having them sent off to other studios. Now, a lot of you are probably like, they can't do that. They can't. Yes, they can. Look at all of these companies that make Call of Duty. Look at how Mortal Kombat was produced by Williams, and then it was produced by another company, and now it's produced by, you get what I'm saying? So it went from Midway, Williams to NRS, of course, from now under WB's umbrella. So that's basically what that is there. Now, another question I want to answer for you guys. A lot of you are probably wondering, why don't Ed Boon just take Mortal Kombat and leave? Why don't he go independent? Can the company request to not be a part of anybody? Well, too late, because they're already purchased, is number one. Number two, running an independent game development studio is extremely hard. It's extremely hard, and it costs a lot of money. Why do that when you can have the company pay for everything, which is what they're doing now? They have access to artists, graphic designers, celebrities, voice actors. WB pays for all that stuff. So this is the reason why they're not going independent. I'll touch more on that in a separate video also. Now, Ed Boon goes off on WB Discovery CEO by trolling. He wants to cancel Ed Boon's Marvel project so he can focus directly on Mortal Kombat. Now, I would love for him to focus directly on Mortal Kombat, but Ed Boon is smart. He knows when to give his property a cooling off point. Now, us fans, we're going to accept it because it's the 30th anniversary, so this one is completely understandable. But Ed's next game is Mortal Kombat versus DC. It's definitely a Marvel product that he's working on, and he wants to stop what Ed is working so hard on. Now, Ed has been working with speaking with Marvel for a very long time. He's been working on speaking with them so that way he can get the license. Now, another thing I want to say is TT Games has been trying to get the license to make a Marvel fighting game also, but Jay Ogg, which is the executive vice president and head of Marvel Games, met with Ed Boon. This was a few years back. They met, and Ed Boon was extremely excited about getting this game up off the ground. This is why you've been hearing Marvel rumors for a good while now, because they are true. Ed Boon met with him. He loves what Ed Boon has done with the Mortal Kombat franchise, him and the NRS team. And that's how Ed got the license. And Ed pitched, and I'm talking about, it was Ed Boon, a couple of members for his team. They was in a room with a TV screen. They showed some mock-up concepts. They even showed some very, very, very early on gameplay. So basically it's like a portfolio. They used Mortal Kombat, they used Injustice to kind of show graphics, voiceovers, intros, all types of stuff of what they can do with the game. And he is a Mortal Kombat fan, so he trusts Ed Boon versus anybody else with the direction, because Ed Boon is considered a video game head. Hell, I would trust Ed Boon to create my game versus anybody else, because Ed Boon started off as a game developer and he worked his way up the ladder. He's just not some big wig like David over there at WB Discovery thinking he know everything. Now, don't get me wrong. David does have his purpose, which we're gonna touch on in other videos too, but Ed Boon is just getting back at him, and I'm gonna show you how. But before I do that, let me show you the proof of Ed Boon. Look how happy he is. Look at this look on his face and what he say during this clip. Check this out.
Ever had one conversation with Marvel about making a fighting game?
Yes.
What? When?
I did. But I probably shouldn't talk about it.
Are you excited about that idea?
Oh God, yes. We would love to make like a Marvel fighting game, or Marvel versus DC. I think would be the coolest.
I feel like it's a race between you and TT Games for getting that Marvel versus DC. I'm rooting for you guys.
Yeah.
Now, you see how happy Ed Boon was? He had a smile on his face the whole time. The whole time. He almost let it slip, but he was like, I probably shouldn't say that. When you're in doubt, that's when you know you should shut up. When you should shut up. So he's really good at not, getting himself in trouble, I should say. But here's what Ed Boon did next. He went online because he was pissed at the CEO, and this is what he did. He put a lot of heat on the CEO to where people can blame him for there not being a Marvel should not be released. You see this poll right here? Marvel versus DC had 181,000 views. 181,000 views, and a lot of people voted. This is Ed Boon's way of showing him, hey, listen, you're leaving money on the table. Not only are you leaving money on the table, but you are most certainly not giving the fans what they want. And now it's trending online. It's trending. Ed Boon did all of this in a matter of seconds with a tweet. He marketed the game. He promoted the game. He got the blogs talking. He got everybody talking. The game is hot right now. Marvel versus DC is hot right now, thanks to Ed. Now, right after that happened, as mentioned, the game trended. This is what happened right after that. Let me go ahead and put this up here on the screen. What button is it? Okay, it's this one right here. Boom. What do you want to see next from Earthrealm Studios? Marvel vs. DC was trending number 22 in the world. That is huge to get something trending with all that marketing and promotion with a tweet. I want you to understand, there are companies that are paying Twitter to be on the trending page, and Ed Boon does this in his sleep. He gets games to trend. Mortal Kombat. Now he got Marvel to trend. Now the CEO is reconsidering Ed's offer, and I will have a update video for you guys coming out soon as to what his reaction is. Ed Boon went out he basically the person, let's say you got a dad, right? You be like, hey dad, I want to borrow some money, I want to start this business, and your father just be like, ain't nobody gonna be buying nothing from that business, it's not a great idea, this, that, and the third. You go out, you do some marketing, you come back and you show him 181,000 people wants to buy your products, this, that, and the third. What's your dad gonna do? He's gonna be like, all right, listen, all right, I was wrong, you was right, I'm proud of you, I underestimated you, let's go ahead and get your project off the ground. That's basically, what's gonna happen in so many words. But I'll have that information for you in the next video as to how that's gonna play out. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention to let you know what's going on over there. Marvel versus DC. Marvel versus DC will be a massive game, but I know this is gonna come to a shock to you. To a degree, I don't think this should happen because it could be a disaster. I'm gonna make a video on why Marvel versus DC is not a good idea. From a realistic aspect, I'm talking money, I'm talking budgets, I'm talking you got characters, you got strength, you got weaknesses, who's gonna look good, who's gonna look weak, is it gonna piss a lot of people off? It's a lot to go into making that game, and I don't think they should do it. I mean, of course I want them to do it for fun. Of course, who don't want to do Batman versus Spider-Man or something like that? Like, make the game for fun. But when you put all the political BS behind it, that's what really makes the game unfun. So with that being said, guys, I want to pass this question off to you guys in the comment section below. How do you feel about Ed Boon basically making the CEO of WB look like a chump? Shout out to Ed, man. He is not to be messed with. He did all of that without having to resort to any type of violence or threatening to leave the company. Ed Boon is a silent warrior. He is a silent warrior, and I love how he got his lawyers to look through his contract to find some clauses that allows him to still make games for other companies. And when you think about it, it makes complete sense. If Marvel offer NetherRealm a job, they have to take it, and vice versa. So let's say this. Let's say a random game company, I'm gonna make something up. Let's say Blue Games offer NRS the opportunity to make a game that the WB CEO really loved, and Ed Boon was like, nah, we're not doing that. The CEO could sue Ed Boon for loss of money, loss of funds, damages, insubordination, lack of trust, lack of leadership, a whole bunch of stuff, because he made them lose money out on the deal. Well, guess what? It works both ways, because Ed can sue the WB CEO for not allowing him to basically feed his family, or, you know, lack of subordination, bad leadership, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So it works both ways at the end of the day. But anyway, guys, with that being said, I appreciate you tuning into the video. If you have not done so already, make sure you smash that subscribe button and turn on post notifications, because this is your brand new favorite and exclusive place for daily Mortal Kombat content. Also, smashing that like button is extremely helpful, because it shows YouTube and the algorithm that this is the type of content you want to see. If you're new to the channel, WB Discovery CEO tried to counsel me by giving me all these copyright claims, or yeah, they were copyright claims on my channel, and trying to get me up out of here. So please, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button and join the rebellion. I would be very appreciative of that. We have more work here to be done. Tons of content is coming. Like I said, we're gonna boost up the content as much as we possibly can. So stay tuned. Much more is coming. Catch you in the next one. Peace out.